morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, whenever you're choosing to practice with me today. You're welcome to always start in Shavasana or anything that just feels comfortable within your body. I'm just going to be sitting on a block today to begin our practice. Wherever you are, I encourage you to close your eyes and just start bringing your focus to your breath. Bringing the breath internally, meaning breathing through the nostrils in and out. No matter where you've chosen to lay or to sit, in what posture or what stance, really just notice what happens when we do nothing but breathe. The mind clears. We tend to feel lighter. Maybe even noticing tension rolling away from you, down the shoulders, down the back, feeling a release. We want this awareness of breath, of feeling, of just that containment, of not allowing the mind to wander, not being in many different places at one time, not worrying about things that still need to happen, just so we can always rein ourselves back in. As we start to move, it's very normal for the mind to become busy again. So we want to be quicker and quicker on bringing ourselves back to just this feeling of peace, of ease. Just a little bit of time for you out of your day. And then wherever you are, we're slowly going to bring ourselves into the practice or into movement through the body. So just gently nodding your head from right to left, maybe making circles with the extremities. Once we start making these circles, I strongly encourage you to take a moment to take your circle in the other direction. Just challenge the brain a little bit. And then wherever you are, we are going to bring ourselves into a seat, nice and flat on your bottoms. If, however, you are extremely tight through your hips, so meaning when you come into any cross-legged position, your knees are extremely high and you do not feel comfortable, you're going to take your block or a pillow or a folded blanket or towel, works wonderfully as well. You're going to keep it pretty, about 3-4 inches. Prop it underneath your bottom and you will notice right away that your body's going to tilt forward a little bit, but your legs are going to be allowed to come down. You're going to feel much better in this cross-legged position. When we feel better, we tend to move better. So just always recognizing your body. We're tight in different areas. Once we get to that place, play with that 90 degrees. So imagine me coming behind you and sliding a wall back there. You want to be able to touch the wall with all of your back body. So the back of your head is touching the wall. Both of your shoulders are touching the wall, and your lower back is also touching the wall. So we're not allowing a rounding that wants to happen. We just take time for that posture. Learning to elongate, to ground, helps us get stronger, because the more we get taller, the more the body has to work to keep us erect. Seems very simple to sit in a nice 90-degree angle, but it actually takes quite a bit of work. And then we're just going to add a little bit of movement through the neck to begin. Allow your right ear to fall down to your right shoulder. If you're not really feeling a stretch, play with taking your gaze down towards your right shoulder. If you have even more space available, meaning you're still not getting a stretch, take your hands down beside you. Think about propping yourself up and maybe drawing your nose even farther towards your right side. And then slowly coming back to center. Just take a moment of release. Never rushing. And then gently allowing maybe the opposite side so the nose goes down towards the left shoulder. And obviously taking it in stages again. So just quickly noticing that both sides of your body are very different. So just going as far as you need to on this side. You're just looking for a nice stretch down the right side body. You might be feeling this as low as your hip. And then we'll slowly come back through center, allowing the chin to drop now. So hands most likely in your lap. And we're just going to allow a bit of rounding. This might feel very nice through your lower back. It might not feel so good. Just allow gravity to pull you down. Slowly rolling back up through center. We're going to extend through the left leg, and your right leg is going to stay into that thigh. Find the extension. Ground down through the back of the left leg. Draw your toes in. Inhale, lengthen. Think about getting longer. And just sitting into this on the exhale. And then we'll take the arms up on the inhale. Rotate towards the extended arm and slowly make your way down. So arms can stay up nice and long. Maybe they drop down as you come down, but think about your belly coming to your thighs, not your nose to your toes. When we take our gaze down, we tend to round. We want to keep the spine nice and long. Some of you might easily be able to grab your toes, your foot. Maybe we're way up here and there's nothing wrong with that. You just want to feel that stretching sensation. And we are very different. We want to listen to our bodies. Feel the breath move. The inhales lengthen, and maybe we come a little farther on the exhale. And then we'll slowly roll in through center, rolling back up, and switching sides. So extending out through the right leg, bringing the left foot in. Again, take that moment to find the engagement through the right leg. So the leg is pushing down into the floor of the mat. The toes are drawing in towards your knee to protect the knee joint. Inhale, lengthen. Just feel yourself get long and then notice the ground. Inhale again, arms up. This time spinning towards that extended leg and slowly bringing yourself down. And always recognizing there's no rush, there's no place you have to be. You will come better and find more space if you just listen to your body. Feel the inhales. Notice that even when we've come here, you've stopped breathing. Very common. We start holding our breath when we find tightness in the body. Play with breathing through the tightness and notice how the body moves. And then slowly coming back up through center, let it go. Taking both of your feet together in front of you. Taking your hands behind you, creating a wall, that imaginary wall. Really think about drawing your shoulder blades together and opening the chest. Imagine you were trying to actually shine your heart up towards the ceiling. Really find the expansion. Your heels can come far away from the body. If you have a lot of space in your hips, you're going to bring them closer. But again, you're listening to your body. Find the length on the inhale. Really think about opening. And on the exhale, maybe you can draw down your belly a little. Again, think about your belly coming to your feet. If you want to push through the feet, you're taking the balls of your feet and your heels together, toes open wide. It really helps to find the inner thighs, and that's what generally brings us down lower and lower. Just again, again, feel the breath move through the body. Notice your shoulder blades, they want to round forward. Think about drawing them back and down. Smiling. Always smiling through the tension. Feel the release. And then gently coming forward. So this time we'll allow ourselves to round. Hands can come on top of your feet. Hands can go on your thighs, anywhere that feels good to you. Slowly rolling up through the seat. And then we're gently going to close ourselves like a book. We're going to make our way over onto our hands and our knees. We're going to stretch out the toes here. So when you come over onto your hands and your knees, keep your knees about hip distance apart, but roll your toes under and then walk yourself up to where you're comfortable. Probably not liking this sensation. Toes are generally tight. We're going to add a bit of an upper body stretch here. So we're going to take the arms up, interlace the fingers, and on your exhale, taking yourself to the right. Breathing. Crescent moon with a bit of a twist. Slowly coming back up and letting it go. Taking your feet flat and just banging them on the mat. Just releasing through those toes. Again, we're trying to get into the fascia, and we are generally very tight in that area. We just don't stretch it. And then we're going to curl them under again. So really think about drawing under and then making your way up to wherever you can sit comfortably or breathably. Inhale the arms all the way up, interlace the fingers, and this time taking yourself to the left. Feel the breath. Feel the extension. And then the stretch. Slowly coming back to center. Let it go. Bring yourself forward. Tapping the tops of your feet. Smiling. That is generally pretty intense for most of us. Learning how to smile helps the body relax. And then while we're here, we're going to stretch through the wrists. This one's pretty hard to see on camera. You're just going to take yourself into your traditional tabletop. I'm going to encourage you to keep your hands closer to your knees to start, just to play with it. You're going to rotate your hands down so the index finger is facing your knees as it drops down towards or at the floor. Your palm is firmly on the floor. Your index finger and thumb, all your fingers are nice and wide. You're really pushing down through your thumb and your index finger. Ideally, you're looking for your arms to be straight. Not everyone will be able to have their arms straight. If you're really tight here, you keep your knees nice and close to your index fingers. If you have more space, you play with walking your knees further away from the body. Breathing. Think about drawing your shoulder blades together down your back again, opening up through the chest. The stretch is meant for the wrists. When we're tight, however, the body likes to take tension in different places. We want to find some space in these wrists, these overworked wrists. And then we'll slowly bring ourselves out of that, just coming up, making nice big circles. Encourage the circles to go in the other direction. Always that pause, that reflection. Most people have to really think about that. And then we have one more for the wrists here. So this time as we make our way forward, we're going to flip the palms, the hands, so the palms are up. Again, we're looking ideally for the arms to be straight, but this one's pretty intense for most. Your fingers are still nice and wide. Your thumb is pushing down into the mat. Your thumb really wants to come up here. And again, you can play with your knees staying close to the fingers, or maybe playing with taking your knees a little bit farther back. As soon as you take your knees farther back, you're putting a little more pressure on the wrist joint. We are very tight in that area, and this is very uncomfortable for almost everybody. Play with lengthening your arms before anything else. You ideally want your arms to be nice and straight. And then we breathe into Maybe you're adjusting your body slightly as we stay. Every movement here you will feel. Feel the breath. Notice if you've stopped breathing. And then gently letting that go, bringing yourselves up. And again, just rotating through the wrists, allowing the blood flow to come back, tinglies to stop. Everything here is very normal. And then we are slowly going to make our way into our first downward dog today. So we're going to curl the toes again, and we're going to bring our bottoms up and walk out the dog. So again, firmly grounding down through the palms of your hands, firmly grounding down through your thumb and your index finger, and then you're just moving in any way that feels natural to you. Play with drawing your weight up. You want to take your weight up and away from the wrists. Then we take the weight down, and we really utilize our legs. Our legs have much bigger muscles. They'll take us much farther. And then bring yourself into a static dog. So really just think about taking your bottom up as if your bottom was trying to touch the ceiling where the wall meets. Grounding down through your heels. Some of you will never have the ground meet the heels. We're just looking for length through the backs of your legs. Breathing at the same time. Maybe playing with dropping your chest down towards your thighs, allowing more space through the shoulders. And then we're going to warm the core a little here. So we're just going to bring ourselves forward on the inhale into a beautiful plank. And then roll back and lift up through the front of the body on the exhale. Inhales bring us forward. Takes a lot of engagement. Think about everything staying strong. And then rolling back, balls of your feet. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. One more nice slow fluid movement coming forward, maybe coming all the way to the tips of your toes now. And then drawing yourself back. And then we're just going to keep our legs nice and straight. We're going to play with tiptoeing our feet all the way to the front of the mat. See if you can keep your legs nice and straight as you make your way up. Once you come to the top, dropping the heels, they stay about hip distance apart. And just taking a moment in your forward fold. Allowing the body to dangle. Maybe grabbing for opposite elbows. Maybe you have a really exaggerated bend in your knees. That will take a lot of pressure out of your lower back. So this is you listening to your body, nobody else. And maybe you're gently rocking from right to left. Maybe your hands are just dangling, if that's your preference. Play with smiling and maintaining a deep, deep inhale and exhale. All through the nostrils. And then we're slowly going to roll ourselves up. Taking a moment in mountain. Think about stacking, opening, grounding. We're going to flow a little bit here just to warm the body up more. So the inhales are going to take us up nice and strong. Exhale, swan dive down. Really think about pushing yourself back. Exhale to about 90 degrees. Find that stretch. Let it go. Inhaling all the way up. Feel the breath move through the body. Exhale as we cascade. Knees can bend as much as necessary. Flat back. We straighten. We lengthen. Let it go. Inhaling up. And through. Find that stretch, that lengthen. And down. And then one more time, coming all the way up. And down. Stretch it out. And release. We're going to take our hands to the mat now. We're going to take a generous step back with the right foot. We're going to then allow the right knee to come onto the mat. If you have any right knee or any knee sensitivity, You're more than welcome to curl your mat under before coming down. Once you come down, you're uncurling your toes, taking your gaze forward and just tenting your fingers. See if you can take your gaze up higher and higher just by staying here. As soon as the gaze comes up, the hips come down. If at any point this is too much on your right knee still, it means that you need to walk your back leg further. It'll give you more space and it'll actually put the weight onto the front of your knee joint instead of the actual knee. And then we can choose to either stay here or making our way up for a few breaths, taking the hands onto the thigh. If you have made your way up, think about really grounding down through the right side and lifting up the right and grounding down through the left. It's going to keep your hips centered and help you with balance. And then we'll slowly release that side, curl the back toes, lift the knee, and gently step yourselves up, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up, feel the release. Nice swan dive as we let it go. Flat back and down. One more flow. Feel that beautiful fluid movement. Nice deep on the exhale, pushing your bottom back, cascading over. Stretch it out. Let it go. Take both of your hands to the mat. Take a generous step back with the left foot. And again, if you already know you have that knee sensitivity, please just curl your mat under. Once you bring your knee down, you uncurl your back toes. And just play with this for a bit. Take the fingers beside it, just frame your front foot. There's not a lot of weight in the hands. We take our gaze up as high as we can. And again, just noticing the higher up the gaze goes, your knee or your hips naturally drop down and you get more of an opening. Breathing through the tightness. And then we either choose to stay here, or maybe we take this a little further by bringing ourselves up onto the thigh. Always noticing that your knee is on top of the ankle. You should always be able to see your big toes. If you have a problem with balance here, it just means that you're dumping the weight onto one side. Think about the weight staying through center and elongating. Breathing, smiling. And then we'll slowly take the hands down, uncurl the back toes, step ourselves up, and then just come into a forward fold. Inhaling all the way up. Nice swan dive. Flat back. And down. Inhaling up. And down. Nice flat back. Feel these movements, these stretches. Let it go. Inhaling all the way up, we'll interlace our fingers again and we'll come into our second round of crescent moon. Find more length on the inhale, and on the exhale, take yourself to the right. Lengthening and deepening. Feel the breath. Inhaling back to center, and let it go on a swan dive. Nice flat back, and down. Inhaling all the way up, non-dominant grip at the top now, might feel odd. Let the shoulders go, find more length, and taking it left. Feel the breath, feel the stretch. Notice the sensations and notice always where the breath gets stuck. Inhaling back to center and release. Inhale to a flat back and let it go. We're going into chair now. So the arms can stay up, or maybe your preference is to have the arms coming straight out. I'm going to keep mine up today. Take a look down at your feet. Make sure they're only hip distance apart. Inhale to lengthen, and on the exhale, we make our way into our seat. So it's not really about coming as low as you can. It's about staying long while you come low. You're always trying to get your knees stacked on top of your ankles, yet the body wants to push us forward. Remember, if we were coming into a chair, there'd be a chair behind us, and we'd be working to get our bottoms closer. Feel the breath. Feel the sensation of opening and grounding. A lot of work here. Deep inhales, long exhales. And then gently letting it go, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up, find that release, that stretch. Exhale is just as active. Stretch it out and down. Coming all the way up. We're going to make our way into crow, bringing the arms down. So the inhales bring us up. Exhale, your right arm is going to come under your left arm, finding your bind, or maybe grabbing your shoulders. Choosing to stay here. If you want to go deeper, find a bit of a bend through the knees. Take your right thigh on top of your left thigh. And again, staying here if this is what's available to you. Your toes can stay on the mat. You could even take the ball of your right foot onto the mat. If you want to go deeper here, and you want to play with the bind, you're bringing your thigh on top of the other thigh, and you're wrapping your foot behind. So both of your hips stay in line, and maybe you can play with coming lower. Maybe the arms can come up, maybe the arms can come away from the face. Shoulders stay on the top of the hips. So we're not rounding forward to come deeper here. Notice if your left toes are gripping the mat, flatten them out. You're always noticing if you're not breathing. And then gently unwinding, so taking the arms up, releasing the feet. Let it go in a nice forward fold. Nice flat back. And down. One more flow, inhaling all the way up. Beautiful sensation as you come down. Flatten back. And release. Other side, so coming all the way up. This time the left arm drops underneath the right arm. Finding your bind. Bending the knees and the left thigh on top of right. And maybe you stay right here. If you're going further, you can play with the bind or anywhere in between. Think about your left thigh staying on top of your right thigh. The thighs stay down or the hips stay down in line. Elbows come up, forearms away from the face, and you're breathing. And then gently letting it go. So we release the feet, the arms come all the way up. And we swan dive, very active. Nice flat back. And down. Inhaling all the way up. And through. Flat back. And down. And this time we'll take our hands to the mat. We'll take a generous step back with our right foot again, keeping the knee off the mat. So it's a low lunge this time. When you're ready, bringing yourself up to your thigh, maybe walking your back foot back further. Always taking the time to make sure you are stacked appropriately. The left knee stays on top of the ankle. The left knee wants to come forward. You really want to keep your weight down the center. The weight in your right foot is in the ball of your foot, so the back of your leg is very active. As we come forward, we're not allowing the weight to dump into the belly. We're lifting, opening, grounding at the same time. See if you can smile. It's always a great gauge. Maybe choosing to stay here or maybe taking the arms overhead. When the arms come overhead, you can play with bending your back leg. It'll give you a little more space to come up. Once you come up, you lengthen the leg again. But these are all just options. Long breath. And then we'll gently release. The hands will come down. We'll step our right foot forward. Inhaling all the way up. Let it go. Strong swan dive. Flat back. And down. One more time. Enjoy the sensation. Feel the stretching. Feel the release. Feel the breath. And down. Hands to the mat. Taking the left foot back. Generous step. When you're ready, bringing yourself up. Think about engaging as you come up and settle. Take a peek down. You should always be able to see those toes. Maybe you're staying here. If we're coming further, the arms come back. Breath stays steady. Notice where your weight's dumped. Weight should be evenly down the body. Maybe staying here or maybe taking your arms up and dropping down through the hips. The back leg is more than welcome to bend. It will release your lower back, especially if you're tight. Gently taking the hands down again, stepping yourself up, inhaling all the way up, and nice flat back. Stretch it out, and down. One more, nice and deep, and release. Flat back, and down. We're going to take our hands to the mat, and we're going to walk ourselves back into a downward dog. Take a moment to walk the dog out, maybe even wag the hips. And then we're going to slowly bring ourselves forward. We're going to release the knees straight down and uncurl the toes. Play with finding your triceps so the elbows stay close to the body as we bring everything down. Taking your chin down, drawing your hands back a bit. Your hands are in line with your chest. Grounding through the tops of your feet and just making your way in your own pace up into your baby cobra. So you're grounding down through the tops of your feet, you're lengthening through the body. And maybe you can come up a little higher on every exhale. Slowly dropping the chin down, pushing through the hands, using the triceps and the core. Bring yourself back, uncurl the toe, curl the toes. And coming back into a modified dog. So this is very active. We're on our knees, but it's still as if we were in a downward dog. We're firmly pushing down through the palms. We're firmly pushing down through our toes. And we're engaging through the front of the body. We're going to move a little here with a modified flow. Take your inhale to guide you forward. Really think about engaging through the front body. On the exhale, I'm curling the toes and dropping down. Inhale up. That's a deep, long exhale that takes us all the way back. So the elbows stay close to the body the entire time. Take one breath here. Think about coming forward fluidly. Arms stay close. Exhale as we uncurl the toes. We drop everything down. We find length as we push down through the front of the body. Exhale as we ground through the hands. We lift through the front of the body. Inhales bring us forward, and then down. Inhaling up, and all the way back. One more time, come forward. Exhale down. Inhale to baby cobra. And we're just going to stay here. So really think about grounding down through the tops of your feet even more. See if you can lift your knees higher and higher away from the mat. Maybe you can play with bringing the chest up. Maybe your hands are coming off the mat now. And we're slowly going to drop down. We're going to take one ear onto the mat, hands beside you, palms face up, and just allow everything to release. If you found any tension in your lower back, you're going to play with drawing your toes closer and closer. Feel the breath here, feel the body release, feel the expansion. Maybe even sighing it out. And then we're slowly going to bring the chin back through center. We're going to fly a little bit more here. So once the chin comes through center, you're going to take your feet nice and wide, but mat distance apart, palms face down, away from the body. And on your exhale, you're going to lift everything up. So to come higher, you're going to actually think about peeling up your lower ribs away from the mat. And you're also going to think about lifting up your inner thighs. Inhale's always lengthen. And on the exhale, maybe you can come higher and higher. Gaze stays down in front of your mat to keep the neck in line. Breath stays steady. And then we'll gently drop down as you release, palms face up, opposite ear on the mat, and most likely you're walking your feet closer and closer together. You want to feel release in the lower back and not tension. Maybe sighing it out again. Beautiful place to sigh. We're going to make our way through center and we're going to do another one here. So this time you're going to take your feet together, your big toes touch, if that's available to you. And you're going to take your hands on top of your bum. So we're going to come into full lotus here. So if you cannot interlace your hands and take them away from the body, you're welcome to use a strap or a t-shirt, anything between both of your palms that allows you to draw your shoulders back and open. When you're ready, think about finding length and again lifting. So everything comes off of the mat. We're breathing. Feel yourself lengthen. And then let everything go. Taking your right ear back to the mat and finding your release. And then we'll gently just bring the chin through center and switch sides or switch ears. Let it go. Slowly coming back through to center. And we'll stretch the arms a little more since we're here. We're going to take the right arm out from the shoulder socket. You're going to bend your right arm into goalpost arm. So have a look out over the right side and make sure your elbow's in line with your shoulder. When you're ready, you're taking your weight over onto your right side. Your left leg can dangle, can just sit down, can come behind you into a tent, whatever feels good to you. The stretch is made entirely for your shoulder. Your ears should be comfortably on the mat and you're breathing into the sensation. Most people are extremely tight through the shoulders, so just accepting that that is fact and breathing through your body. And then we'll slowly come back through the center and just switching sides. So when you're ready, you're taking your left hand out. I'm going to really encourage you to take your gaze that way to make sure when you bend your arm, your elbow stays in line with your shoulder. The elbow tends to want to come up. We want to make sure it's 90 degrees with the shoulder socket. And then when you're ready, you're taking yourself over the other way. And this side most likely feels completely different than the other. You and your breath, no thoughts, no negativity, no questioning why you're so tight, just breathing into the tension. And then we slowly bring ourselves back. And this time we're going to bring both of our palms straight in front of our forehead, drop the forehead down, bend at the knees, and just gently windshield washing. So it's a nice release. We're going to make our way through a round of, drawing a blank. We're going to bring ourselves up, draw the elbows in, and take the chest forward. So your palms are firmly down, your forearms are into the mat. If you have a lot of tension in your lower back, you're going to walk your hands farther away, which will allow you to come down. If you have a lot of space, you're going to play with drawing your elbows in closer and taking your gaze up higher. If this really bothers your back, you can play with taking your legs wide or keeping your legs at hip distance apart. Completely up to you. See if you can let the tension go in your glutes though. When we come up here, the glutes wanted to engage. Think about drawing your shoulder blades down your back and just opening your chest to whatever degree is available. If you have a lot of space, maybe taking your hands wide and just bringing yourself up even more. It's going to cause more compression through the lower back, but then we're going to release. And then gently allowing yourself to drop. And again, taking your hands on top of each other and the forehead down. Maybe you bend at the knees again and you gently rock from right to left. Most people find a nice release that way, but I always encourage you to listen to your body. Maybe you don't need that release and it just feels nice to stay in a static position. And then we gently bring ourselves back in and up. So we're going to make our way into our downward dog again. Just for a moment, we're going to walk it out, wag the tail, do whatever feels good. Just find the engagement through the body. Bring yourself back to the practice if you've left. That breathing, that mental practice. And then we're going to take our hands to the front of the mat again. Find your forward fold. We're going to make it active this time. You can take your peace finger and your thumb, wrap it around your big toe, and then try to bring your weight predominantly into your toes. Maybe your knees are nice and bent. The inhales, we lengthen, nice flat back. And on the exhale, the arms splay and we draw our belly towards our thigh. Knees can stay bent the entire time. If you, however, do not feel anything with the knees bent, you must play with straightening up through the legs. Straightening up through the legs, think about drawing your sits bones up. Same rest of the sensations. We breathe, the body moves, and maybe we can come a little deeper. Lengthening and deepening. And then gently letting that go, just rocking and rolling here. And then we'll slowly roll ourselves up through standing, take a moment in our mountain, just readjusting. Inhales opening, exhales grounding. Make our way through the warrior series. So we're going to take our hands to our hips. We're going to take a generous step back with the right foot. Find your lunge here. We're going to come into warrior one. So your right foot is your back foot and it is 90 degrees. It's parallel with the back edge of your mat. And then the degree of your lunge lunge is up to you, but I want you to take a look down at your left knee and make sure it stays on top of your left ankle the entire time. The body wants to really come forward. We want to keep it stacked. And then we want to come down as low as possible to engage through the thighs. Opening when you're ready, palms up, palms down. Palms up really allows the shoulders to go down. Palms down. It is always what works for you. What can you breathe through? What feels more natural? Less strain. Find your breath. Really just think about opening and grounding. Feel the breath move. Inhale and exhale. Flipping your front palm, coming through exalted, lifting up and back. Coming back to center. Coming to triangle, so flipping the palms forward, knees stays bent, and we just triangle up. So the gaze goes up towards your right fingertips, but your left arm is just as active. Your left arm is pushing into your left leg, and the leg is pushing back. Coming back to center. Find your lunge, find your grounding, play with closing your eyes. See if you can come deeper that way. Hands to the hips, straightening up, and just switching sides. Your left leg becomes your back leg, therefore the foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat. Your right foot becomes your front foot, so we find our lunge. Take a moment to stack. Really think about stacking. Should always be able to see your right toes. The knee stays on top of the ankle. The knee wants to come in because it's easier. We want the knee back. Open when you're ready, so it's full extension. We open through the chest, we settle through the hips, we draw back through the shoulder blades. We breathe. Notice if you've stopped breathing. Flipping your front palm, making your way through exalted on this side, so reaching up yet reaching down. Coming back. We're going to find our way into triangle, palms face forward, we cartwheel down and up. The lower half of your body doesn't move. You're just grounding through your right arm into that leg. Your left arm is reaching up, and your shoulders are in line with each other. Slowly coming back up, warrior two, just a few more breaths. Think about lunging deeper maybe. Play with closing the breath, or closing the eyes. Love closing the eyes. Feel the breath move through the body. Hands to hips, straightening up. Feet in one direction, maybe shortening the stance, maybe choosing to lengthen the stance. Make sure your feet are parallel with the edges of the mat though for our forward fold. The inhales open, exhales weaken down. Your back stays nice and long as the hands drop down. Notice if you've stopped breathing. Allowing the crown of your head to come closer and closer to the floor, maybe bending the elbows as you go. Maybe the elbows come onto the mat. Maybe you stay way up high. Knowing wherever you've gone is perfect for your body. You're looking to get a stretch through the backs of your legs. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. And then we slowly come up, nice flat back. And we will just heel to our feet in closer. We're going to make our way back into our bottoms where we began our practice today. So if you were on a block at the beginning or you need one now, please feel free to grab one. Come back into your cross-legged position, hands in the lap. Take a few moments with the eyes closed. Maybe taking a moment to find your breath. Take a moment to find your 90 degrees, though. Notice if the body's slumped. And then we're just going to stretch through the neck here. So we're going to gently allow the right ear to fall to the right shoulder. Hopefully you're feeling a lot more open now, so you're near the end of practice. Taking your nose down towards the shoulder. Maybe taking your hands behind you and finding even more of a stretch. Allowing the release, just rolling through center. And then when you're ready, taking your gaze back up and dropping it to the opposite side. So again, just play with this stretch. Play with the movements till you find a nice stretch through the one side. And then dropping the chin back through center, hands can come forward. Maybe just allowing a bit of rounding here. Might feel very nice through the shoulders, the back, the neck. And then we'll slowly roll ourselves back up. We're going to make our way onto our back. We're going to come into a supported bridge today. So I'm going to use a block. You're welcome to use pillows. Walk both of your heels in close to the bottom, ground down through the heels, and roll yourself up through bridge. Take your block onto whatever height is appropriate for you today. Make sure you feel very supported when you drop down through that sacrum. Hands beside you, palms up, rotating or rolling your shoulders under your chest, maybe just choosing to stay here. If you want to play with extension, you're more than welcome to. Once the legs extend, you're going to feel quite a pulling sensation through the front of the body. If it feels a nice pulling, you're going to stay. If, however, it's causing compression in the lower back, you are going to draw your heels back onto the mat to allow your body to release and relax here. Wherever you are, play with closing the eyes and just feeling the breath move through the front body. Notice it everywhere. Feel the expansion, feel the lifting, feel if it gets getting stuck anywhere. And then we slowly make our way out. So if your legs are extended, you're slowly drawing one foot at a time onto the mat. Once you're there, you're gently grounding down through the heels, lifting the body up, just enough to remove the block and moving down very slowly, never moving quickly when it comes to the spine. Once you touch down, we're going to take the feet nice and wide, and we're going to allow the knees to fall in towards each other. If you feel quite comfortable, maybe you want to play with gently rocking from right to left, or maybe you want to stay in a static position. Make our way through thread the needle here. So we're just going to slowly bring ourselves back to center. If you were moving, walk your feet in closer together. Take your right foot up towards the ceiling. Drop the active leg down. Either staying here or taking your hands through the space you've created, interlacing. You're welcome to use straps here. Your right leg stays very active. The right toes draw towards the knee the entire time, and your knee is drawing away from the body the entire time. If you notice the weight dumping to either the right or the left side, you're bringing your weight back down through center. And then we just breathe. We find length and then depth. If you have more space, you can play with interlacing your fingers on top of your shin. But once you come deeper, you must still be able to keep the shoulder blades on the mat and the sits bones on the mat, as well as the tailbone. So just noticing if you've rounded to come deeper. There is never any benefit to rounding. We want length. And then we'll slowly let that side go. Once your feet come down, just gently windshield washering. That's always a nice release. When you're ready, coming to the opposite side, so the left foot goes up, find the engagement, the activated leg drops down. Really think about this activation. Your toes stay in towards your knee and the knee stays away from the body. And then maybe we come deeper. Maybe you're using a strap on the back of your right thigh, maybe the interlace, but the left leg is still active. And again, if you have the space and you want to grab onto the top of your shin because you get a nicer stretch, you're welcome to, but make sure everything stayed on the mat so we're not rounding to get deeper. Breath is still fluid through the body. Most people are very tight here because we sit too much. So we want to make sure we're continuing to breathe. And then we gently let go of that side, slowly windshield washing again. Taking your arms out from the shoulders, we'll make our way into a spinal twist here. Take your feet nice and wide, about mat distance apart. And then just gently allow both of your knees to fall down towards the left side and your gaze over the right. If you come here and you do not feel anything at all and you wish to deepen, you can take your left ankle on top of your right thigh. If that is too much, you're just removing the weight. All that does is add some body weight to the twist. And then slowly come back through to center, maybe windshield washing in between, making sure your feet stay about mat distance apart, and then gently allowing both knees to fall down in the other direction. If you added weight on the other side, you're going to add weight on this side. We really like to keep some things even if possible. And then we slowly come back through the center and just moving in any way that feels natural to you. Making your way into your final Shavasana. How about we round first in? We'll bring the knees in towards the chest and round the forehead up. Maybe aiming the knees and the forehead together. Nice rounding. Let it go. And then allowing yourself to release and open. And always remembering, final Shavasana or final anything is just a resting pose. So choosing to rest where it feels good in your body. Noticing right away if the mind has become extremely busy as the body stops moving. I encourage you to stay in final Shavasana as long as you wish. I'd like to take a moment just to thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for practicing with me today. I always encourage that moment of reflection after every practice. Just take a moment to thank your body for carrying you through the day. Namaste.